Miles for a while now. We met through a mutual friend who actually went here to UCLA as well. And I asked him to come out to a high school that I used to work at, and he ran a workshop about manhood for some students. And when I knew that he would sacrifice his time, come across traffic to be able to kind of pour into our future generation, I knew that this would be a solid dude. And moving forward from there, he has proven me not only right, but is, reached even higher heights. So we're talking about not only a writer, a professor, a community activist, I would say, definitely somebody who speaks and does, and that alignment occurs. So definitely after Nipsey, he started his own book club in honor of Nipsey. So this is definitely somebody that's going to be able to pour into you around how to really activate your talents, living your purpose, but then also to make sure that you're making a larger impact in the community. So with that, I will hand it over to Miles, and why don't we give him a round of applause?
All right, hello everyone. How are you doing this evening? Good. All right, so I know you're eating. Feel free to continue eating. You can just give you head nods. At any point in time that I say anything, it gives you like a little feeling. You want to make a noise, make that noise. I'm not a Baptist preacher, but I talk like one a little bit. So if you give me any type of feedback, do that. If you don't want to, then don't do that. Just listen, and hopefully I give you some information that can add value to your life immediately. Not maybe in the next few minutes, maybe right after you graduate, things of that nature. So first off, I want to say my name is Miles Goodloe, and my mission is to make learning fun. Okay? So my purpose for 2019 is to actually get my book club up to 100 members and to make sure that we have 3 meetups in person. I started the book club basically after Nipsey Hussle had passed. Does everybody know who Nipsey Hussle is? Yes, I know. All right, for those of you that don't, he's a rapper, passed away from the Crenshaw community. I'm a Crenshaw grad, so that was important to me. He became a prolific leader, so it's my goal to hopefully let the death of one prolific leader encourage and rise up 100 more. So if you want to learn more about the Crenshaw Book Club, you can just holler at me later. My IG is Achieve Milestones. Just hit me with a DM, and then I'll send you the info to join the book club. Sounds good? Cool. So, before I go into a whole speech about career and development and everything like that, let me give you a description of how I see myself when I look in the mirror. Okay, so I am smart, rich, and loud. Smart. For the books rooted in me, rooted in creativity. Scream through brass, obscene stories of common, challenging Joseph Haydn's concertos. I am smart, rich, and loud. Rich, for the books of my library were free. To enter my mind a world greater than every city not filled with James Baldwin inceptions. I am smart, rich, and loud. Loud. For my voice sends beats into hearts, pumping blood and enlightenment down your spine, and in time you will see my divine beauty. It is in my eye, for I am the beholder. Woo. So I wrote that poem titled Beauty because I struggled with seeing my own beauty. I didn't feel proud of myself. I couldn't find a way to encourage myself. And when after I decided that I was smart, rich, and loud, I stepped into those attributes and I said, I'm going to be that each and every day. Because I see that each and every day. Or at least the point that I wrote that poem, I wanted to. So there's a part of yourself that you need to define about yourself. Otherwise, you'll find yourself never in the right career. Because you don't know who you are. So how could your career? So I'm going to talk about my UCLA experience. Ruins. Feels good. And I'm also going to talk about how I leverage some of my resources on campus because that helped add to the value of who I am and my contributions to be smart, rich, and loud. And I told you my definition, so every time I say those 3 words, you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Cool. So I was a part of AAP. When I first got here, I was an FSP, coming straight out of high school, so that was super fun. I don't know why they would put so many people in one dorm in the summer at UCLA. Until you do it, then you're like, okay, I get it. This is amazing. I love it. And so that was a great experience because that was my first experience spending the night at a college campus. And it was like, wow, I actually can do college work. I mean, I struggled a little bit, but it was great. So some of that came because of tutoring, so having academic support. The only reason I felt like I even got a 4.0 in high school was because I had tutoring. My grades were a lot lower. I won't tell you what they were, but let's just say they jumped up a whole number before the decimal. Okay? So after that, I decided to join the VIP Scholars because VIP Scholars was a mentoring program that went back into high schools and it taught people how they can get into college. And I was a product, or I am a product of EAOP, who used to come to my school and actually work with me so that I actually could know what college required and actually get in. So giving back became a huge part of who I am then and today. So when AAP gave to me, I decided to do VIP, I would give to them. Make sense? Cool. So after that, I went to counseling because at 18, I thought I knew everything, and by 19, I figured out I did. So freshman year, I'm just running with my head off, and I'm like, yeah. And then by sophomore year, I'm like, you know, I can run well, I can run fast. Man, I don't even know where I'm running. So I went to AAP counseling because it wasn't just about my political science major, or it wasn't just about general ed requirements. It was about me as an academic person, me as a student, holistic. And once I realized that other people didn't even have that, I was like, oh, this is a value add. I gotta juice this and I use it for like the next 3 years consistently. My counselor, Jessica, I stayed in contact with her for so long that I even went and visited her at USC after I graduated and came back, right? And the only reason I went there was because she ended up working there like 5 years later. So that means that somebody who had an impact on my life at 19, 20, by the time I was 25, still, I remembered that person and went back and looked at her impact that she had on me. So if you're not using AAP counseling, you're sleeping. Stay woke. So then I joined Daily Brewing Video because I was like, I like cameras, we're in LA, who doesn't like a camera? Back then that's how you want to jump in front of the camera. I was like, all right. And so what I'm going to do is jump behind the camera and see if I can highlight others. Because I love to promote others, right? My friends call me a gas maker because I'm always just feeding them gas and gassing them up whenever they're doing something. You can do that, bro. You got that, right? And so behind Daily Brewing Video, I was able to learn some tangible skills on how to just uplift other people and put them in a spotlight. So then after that, another part of my UCLA experience was joining Kappa Alpha Psi. So I joined my fraternity, and that was amazing because that took me completely off campus. Now, I know that sounds counterintuitive because you're like, they're on campus, okay? So you're in a fraternity on campus, but how did that help you off campus? Well, if you're smart, you're a man, you're great, you can do a million different things, but no one knows, why would I care? Right? There's people out there who are like, I built the cell phone first. I discovered the internet first. I built the first chair. But if they weren't the first people to market it, get it out there, and let someone know, we don't know. And there's a lot of ideas and amazing things that are probably living inside of you that no one knows about. Your career, your best next career, might not come from a UCLA Connect. It might come from Connect off campus. But if you don't use your UCLA resources to put yourself in a space where you can talk to people outside of the UCLA community, then they might not know how great you are. So I love that aspect about joining the fraternity because it allowed me to travel, right? I also traveled because I got a high-ranking position there. So that was important for me to become a leader in the things that I did. I was a member in a lot of things, but I was a leader in that space. And so I became what we call is the JVP for short, which is the undergraduate regional president of my fraternity. So I oversaw 29 chapters, 29 campuses. And with that, I was able to actually get out there and meet so many people from all these different colleges, be it Cal, San Diego State, UNLV. And those people are now living in my network, and I can contact them to this day. So following that, I volunteered for everything revolved around education because I felt like education was a game changer for me, right? So I grew up in one of those families where I had my mom's side and my dad's side. So my dad's side, My dad's side is like, yo, go to college, it's a game changer. I'm not really 100% sure like what it will do for you, but it's gonna do something for you. And go do it. You have no choice. After high school, you're going to college. Mom's side, my grandma, after 3 kids, went back and got her associate's degree, then went back and got her bachelor's degree in sociology after 3 kids, right? Living in New York after she migrated up from South Carolina, and we're talking about the early 1900s here, right? So then my mom went to college, and she dropped out of college. Then she dropped out of Boston College, moved all the way to LA. No, I'm sorry, she moved all the way to the Bay. And so then she was in the Bay, and she ended up going to community college. And from community college, she went on and actually entered UC Berkeley, right? And now she had a non-traditional pathway. She didn't even get her bachelor's degree until she was like 30 years old. And then she got her master's degree right afterwards. And there's a picture of me when she was 33, holding me on stage in her cap and gown. And that's like the go-to family photo of my mom and me as a kid. So although my mom didn't really talk about college, she was like, look at you. Aren't you so adorable? In my cap and gown. And I'm like, okay, Mom, I need one of those. I like that fit. So all those different experiences, being well-versed and making sure I got out of my box, out of my comfort zone, right, allowed me to really take advantage of my UCLA experience. And those things in the future, later on, added so much value to my life that I wasn't thinking about in the moment. So there's probably some things you want to do in the moment that you know are good for you. Go do those. Because that's the whole point of college. To go find what makes you feel good, find what makes you feel great, and then go do those things. There's some other things you can do at nighttime that feel good, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the daytime activities, okay? The on-campus activities. And so, how did I transition out of UCLA and all those experiences actually into a real career, right? What is a career? Does anybody want to tell me what their definition of a career is?
Monetize what you love.
Ooh, I love that. That's way better than what I have, so we're gonna roll with that. Are we good with that? A career is when you monetize what you love. All right, we're moving forward, people, that's it. So, how did I monetize what I love? Well, to be honest, when I graduated, I was like, crap, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea. And so I think the beginning of my senior year, fall quarter, I go into AAP. I don't know if we still have, do we have a grad center still in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, amazing. Boom, I walk right into the grad center. I'm like, hey, I need to go to graduate school because I've been in school my whole life and it's the only thing I know how to do. So let's make this work. What kind of grad school can I get into with these grades and this academic resume of my experiences? And they just looked at it, okay, all right. Figure this out. Okay, you can probably get to a graduate school of education. And I was like, I'm a poli-sci major. Should I just go do poli-sci for the rest of my life? Because I already chosen, I'm stuck. And they're like, no, that's not true. So I was like, okay, well, what about business and economics? I was like, those people make money. I want to make money. I'm not trying to be broke. My parents didn't send me here to be broke. And they was like, yeah, that's great, but you know, you can make money and monetize doing what you love. So I was like, all right, cool, all right. You know, so what else should I do? They was like, well, you volunteered for everything education. Okay, and then you were also involved in an entire program going back to high school to teach people how to get into education. And you utilize all these educational resources. You sure you don't want to go into education? And I was like, if they give me the grad school, sure. Right? So then I applied to 5 grad schools, got rejected from 4. I'm like, what do? By the way, I had like a 2.99999 in my major, and had a 3.0002 overall. So I feel like the UCLA standards, you're like, oh, okay, you like, it's not horrible, but like, you can do a lot better. Right? You know, we're talking about school bred with geniuses, right? Where you come and all of a sudden you're 4.0 from high school feels average, right? Right? Well, most schools aren't like that. Most schools aren't in the top 50, 30, 20, or the number 1 public institution, right? What are the other 3,000 schools still like? Don't worry about it. You're here at UCLA, you're built to be great. And you had some type of determination, right, focus that got you here. So regardless of what your GPA is, you got to keep that hustle and that grind. Something made you want to say, I'm not going to do all that foolishness in high school, I'm going to focus and get here. All right, now I'm in college, no matter what you did in your experiences while you were here, you still have that grind in you. So go back and find that. Maybe it was your mom, your grandma. Maybe it was a motivation. Maybe it was something that was living inside of you. You got to go find what that is. Maybe you said, I just want to get to UCLA. So you're dedicated in yourself to getting to the next level. Now your career is the next level. If we can get that more defined, boom, you're brewing. You'll get to it. Does that make sense? Cool. So I went to grad school, got my master's in education at the University of Pennsylvania. How I got into one school I got into being Ivy League, I don't know. They messed up. I got in. Redid my GPA, went a lot higher. And realized, you know what? I do love education. I do love learning. That's why my life mission is to make learning fun. Because for so long, it hasn't been. And in so many classes, it wasn't. And that needs to change. And that's something that when I just did what I felt like it in college, I landed and I did that so many times. Does that make sense? Is there anything in you that you can think of that you love to do that you haven't thought about as a career? Take your cell phones out and text it to yourself. I'm so serious. Take your cell phones out, take a piece of paper out, and give it to yourself. Unless you're still here. Like, you gotta write it down. If you write it down, you make a promise to yourself. If you just think it and you go on to your next thought, it's whatever. Okay? Cool. Thank you for those who are participating. Now, because you're participating in your own life, not mine. So, my talents were identified in undergrad. I can speak, I can organize, I can educate, and I can leave a positive impression. Boom. Those are my talents, God-given. I kind of honed them more in college. That's great. So what are some skills that I learned? Well, most of my skills really came in grad school because that's when I decided that I needed skills and I wanted to focus on that. Maybe you decided that early in your life and you're already there. Maybe you'll decide that in 5 years from now and you'll be there. For me, it was when I was in grad school, 22, living in Philly, all the way away from my family. I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted my skills to be. I learned how to write, I learned how to research, I learned how to build diverse networks. So that is how I transitioned into my career because I identified my talents and skills. And then what I did is I took that, plus my graduate degree, I walked across the street from UPenn to Drexel University, and I went into the honors program's office, right, after being rejected from 65 different applications for jobs, and this is job 66, and I said something has to be different about this job. I gotta do something different. So after applying online and getting rejected, and not even getting email backs for half of those rejections, I was like, all right, bet. If what I'm doing is not working, and I keep doing it, it's like the definition of insanity. So I'm gonna change, just the world doesn't wanna change. Just the job force don't wanna change, I'm gonna change. Because I'm the only thing I can control. I walk into the office, I have a little suit, I have a full suit on, I got like this like briefcase that has nothing but like 4 copies of my resume, so you know me out real quick, you stand up and shake my hand. So this is the dean of the honors college. Like, hey, hi, I'm Miles, and I heard you had like a job opening. I just happened to be on campus. Is it okay if we talk? I say yeah. Sure. All right, awesome. Boom, thank you. Appreciate it. What's your name? Kiana? Thank you, Kiana. So that was great. So I changed it up and I realized my network was bigger than I thought. So I say to that dean, I say, I just graduated from UPenn. He was like, really? Wow, I can't believe it. I went there for my master's and my doctorate. Tell me about your experience. I'm like, let's go. And he's like, do you know this professor? And I'm like, wow. In my head, I absolutely hate that professor. But in person, I'm like, he's great. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I took 2 of his classes. So I was like, anyway, right? And so I make it work. I play the game, right? If I have to change in order to play the game to get where I want to go, I'm willing to do that. Might not be your thing. I'm willing to get where I need to go so that one day I can be able to do what I need to do, right? And so that for me, that's called sacrifice. I'm willing to do that. And that allowed me to be able to work at Drexel University as a program coordinator for 4 years and also teach as adjunct faculty for 3 years. And I taught classes on higher education finance. I was able to teach classes on culture in America. And I was able to teach classes on music. It was like, you can teach whatever you want. I was like, really? And that's what I did. I mixed it up. I changed it up because I had so many different aspects of myself that I was still figuring out at the age of 25, 26, 4 or 5 years out of school, out of undergrad, 3, 4 years out of grad school, and I was still trying to find out who I was, yet I knew what I loved, yet I had a job, yet I had a career path, but something was still missing, something in me. And I was like, I got the drive, I got the passion, I have the pathway, but this might not be the only pathway to work. I might have to even create my own. So, as a student of color, or as a first generation student, right? I'm a student of color, I'm not first gen, right? But I want you to think about, you know, why you're here and what you're doing it for, and then also think about who you are and what you can do for you. So a lot of times, when you're a student of color and you're first generation, for some reason you feel the whole world on your back, and you gotta save everybody. And you're like, oh my God, the minute I make it, I gotta turn around and build a ladder for everybody else in the freaking world to come get me too. Turn around, drop a rope, aka your blueprint, and I need you to keep climbing up. Because we need you towards the top, not towards the bottom. Does that make sense? Now a lot of us can get halfway and get stuck because we're sitting here like this, trying to pull somebody up, and then we forget to take steps of our own to climb up. Does that make sense? So that's how I want you to feel empowered about not only helping others, but I want you to feel empowered about helping yourself too. And say, okay, I made it up. Boom, I got you. Here's the blueprint. If you need help, call me. I got you. You need a resource that doesn't like set me back to give you this resource. I got you. Right? I just want you to have that in your head. Maybe that works for you, maybe you don't, but I'm going to encourage you to think about that. Because a lot of us can get somewhere, and we never get past there. Because we're stuck there, trying to bring everybody else up to our level before we go up one more. So 2 years from now, what do you want? Financially, physically, mentally, spiritually, romantically. That's another thing you probably want to write down if you don't have it already written. And the reason I say 2 years from now is because some of us, me myself in particular, I used to think 10 years ahead, and I would forget the 8, 9 years in between. So between 25 and 27, I'm like, whoa, I just lost those 2 years because I was just somewhere, but I wasn't really focused on me, right? To be honest, I knew I was stuck like this. So, whether it's somebody's in arm's reach, or whether it's a famous person, or whether it's a company or something, go be an apprentice and learn from someone else who's where you want to be in like 2 or 3 years. If you're really lucky and you can find somebody that's 50 years ahead, that's awesome, and you know, you can get trained by like the CEO of your favorite company, that's an amazing opportunity. But just get 2 years from now. Just take the next few steps, master that, master yourself, master the next skill. Because when I was in the moment in undergrad, I built skills that helped me in grad school. When I was in the moment in grad school, it gave me skills to build at Drexel. When I was in the moment at Drexel, it gave me skills to be able to build a life that allowed me to move back from Philly all the way to LA. Now I'm where I need to be. Now I know exactly who I am. Now I understand my pathway and my blueprint and what I'm going to be leaving for everyone else. But that only came when I decided to be present in the moments. And so I had so many moments, and I was present, not present, present, not present, present, not present. And I sit here and wonder now at the age of 29, what if I was present the whole time? No one's perfect though, right? Life isn't a 4.0, even if you're that damn good. It's actually crazy how it's okay to fail if you learn from it. Because if you keep doing the same failure over and over again, that's like the definition of insanity. So, if I was a graduating senior, what would be my advice for you all and how you can actually achieve and really think about what you want to do? I would encourage you over the next 2 to 5 years to master yourself and establish the difference between your mission and your purpose. When I first started, I said that my mission was to make learning, my life mission was to make learning fun. That will never change. Your mission should not change. So leave it a little broad. But your purpose can change every year, because you change every year. So my purpose this year, in 2019, with 6 months left, since June is essentially like 2 days from now, is to make sure that my book club, the Crenshaw Book Club, has 100 members, and we have 3 in-person meetups. There's a national book club that has 85 members now. We started a month and a half ago, and it's my purpose for right now It's what I need to be present in right now. Is it aligned with my mission? Yes or no? Yes. Right? And you don't have to think about it. That's when you know it's okay to be present in that moment. Because you can say, this still gets me to my mission. It doesn't take away from my vision. I can be fully present in this moment. I can be fully present in whatever it is that I'm doing. So what is it that you want to be fully present in that you're doing? Who's going to be your mentor to help you be fully present in that moment? What are your current goals in the next 2 years so that you can be fully present in that and achieve your best self so you can be who you want to be? So that you can have your own definitions for smart, rich, and loud and know that you're exactly in the moment and the place that you need to be. Even if you don't know if that's going to lead you on a pathway 5 years from now and you be in X place. You don't need to know where you're going to be in 5 years. You don't need to know where you want to be, where you're going to be in 10 years. But if you know you're exactly where you need to be, learning what you feel like is the most valuable thing for you to learn right now because it's aligned with your mission, you're good to go. And if you feel lost, check yourself. And if you don't have a mission, check yourself. Because you too are smart, rich, and loud. Thank you for listening.
One question from the audience for Miles before we transition up to the next part. Is there a burning question? Yes.
I got a job offer. It's allowed me to. So I had been in education for so long that I just executed on other people's programs. And I got an offer to be a nonprofit consultant that said you can build our entire curriculum and program for our 18 and 24-year-olds who did that. My heart just said boom. And I left 13 days later at affiliate at a drugstore. And here I am. Yeah. Although I should say this, I work in ed tech now.